from the return of the Shadowlands, just as the brave Pharaoh did 5,000 years ago.
YouTube Vintage Yu-Gi-Oh! Here today, and we have an all LOB first edition holo CGC return. So this guy reached out to me on Instagram, and he said, hey, I was back home over the holidays. I found my LOB binder from when I was a kid. They're all in really good shape. I said, send me the cards. I have references, went through all that process. Long story short, he sent me the cards, trusted me with him. I did a review video for him, and picked out some cards that I thought might be good for CGC, and then we have a couple that will be at PSA too. So this first card is a Glossy Celtic Guardian, and it had a surface indent, so I knew PSA would automatically give it a 5 or 6, but I wanted to paint the picture that this card is very nice. Other than that, so they graded this very fairly, in my opinion. 9.5 centering, 5.5 surface, because there's a surface issue. I think it's like a binder dent. Let's see if I can even find it. I'm not, but there is a surface issue, so it is warranted. And then 10 on corners, 9.5 edges. So like this I think paints a much better picture, because like PSA 6 versus another PSA 6 can vary. It can be, a card like this with a small crease or a dent, or it can be a card that has, whitening on edges and just a completely different looking card. So I think they graded that one fairly. Up next, we have a Wavy Flame Swordsman, and it got the 8.5. I thought they were kind of harsh on surface. I knew from previous submissions that they always are kind of harsh. I think this one might have had a small pin dot. So PSA, even on pin dots, sometimes marks this way down to 6-7 level. So once again, I wanted to get the full picture here with the subgrades. So I would have liked to see surface maybe a little bit higher, but overall I think it's a pretty fair grade. And he's looking to sell these, so all the prices are going to pop up, and that is the asking price for these cards. So if you're interested, let me know on Instagram. The link to my Instagram will be in the description. So up next, we have a Wavy Swords of Revealing Light. And once again, surface got dinged pretty hard. So I don't know if it was, this is on like 90% of Wavy Swords. I've owned multiple copies. And then there's also like a couple foil specs there, because I don't really remember seeing anything too crazy on this one. Maybe a pin dot right there in the middle. But overall, these cards were very solid, but a lot of them did have just like one little flaw where I knew they wouldn't get, the PSA 9 or 10 most likely. So I wanted to get the, this card is mint, except there is one flaw here on the surface kind of thing. I wanted to, because I would rather own a card like this than own a card that is a PSA 8 that has a bunch of like edge whitening or things like that. Gaia, the Dragon Champion. This one got the error 7.5 with the foil line. So let's see if we can see. Yep, so there is the print line right there through the middle of the card. So a lot of people, including myself up until a few months ago, didn't even know that even the secret rares can have print lines. So 9 on centering, 9 corners, 8.5 edges, 6.5 on surface. This one I was not expecting a bad surface grade. Oh, that is why right there, the bend on that corner. I don't know if I saw that during the preview video, or maybe I could just, it's been a couple weeks, so definitely could have forgotten. But 7.5 with the foil error and a nice solid secret rare from LOB. All right, we get into some Ultras Monster Reborn Glossy, and this did very well except for surface. So let's see. Might be a slight, this one, yeah. I was like, this one is weird because it's got like this line through it, but it's not really a bend, but it's definitely something weird where I'm like, they're going to probably, PSA would absolutely destroy this. So I figured I'd try CGC, but I think, yeah, you can, it's just like a weird, like ripple where I think six on surface is more than fair for that. All right, this is the card that I thought would have the best chance of getting a high grade. We have a Wavy Dark Magician, super well centered, and it got the 8.5. And there's one flaw on this card, and it is that pin dot right there. Other than that, this thing was absolutely beautiful. I'm like, this thing should get 10 centering, which it did, and then it did well on corners and edges. So just that one little fall is all it takes. So if you guys ever get, PSA 10s or CGC BGS 9.5s, they're hard to obtain, and this shows just one fall just ruins the card's chances. But I think this is a very solid card. If I was beginning to collect or something like that, this would be a great card to start with, as it is truly very mint. Besides just probably one factory pin dot. I mean, that probably just came straight out of the pack like that. So overall, very solid grade there. And then we have another big hitter, a Wavy Red Eyes, and this one got dinged on the surface as well because it had, once again, a couple of pin dots. So just a couple small flaws really hurt your overall grade. But you paint a good picture here. Yeah, surface or centering, obviously way off. Edges though, strong edges. Let's see if we can see the 8.5 corners. Don't really see any issues with the corners. Maybe something wonky there. I don't know if that might be on the sleeve or on the card. So I think CGC by far the most consistent that does the subgrades that I've seen. I've questioned a couple things, but overall they're definitely in the right direction. And then the last card of the submission, we have a Glossy Blue Eyes, and this got a near mint 8 overall. So 9 on centering, which I could see a 9.5 honestly. 7 on surface, 9.5 corners, and 8.5 edges. I think this one was once again graded very fairly. Surface could be a little harsh. Let's see if we see anything there. And there's obviously a couple light back scratches. But this one I was more worried about the edges because it does have a small nick up there and down here. But I mean, it is truly maybe a soft corner down there is the surface. It is truly, for being 20 plus years old now, a near mint card. So hopefully you guys enjoyed this CGC return. I enjoyed sending them in for him. The grades were strict but fair for sure. And if you guys are interested, like I said, prices are popping up with the cards. Message me on Instagram for any more pictures or anything like that. And as always, thanks for watching.